Hey everyone, back at it again. So here we are with our week 2 discussion. This week we are doing the iodine clock. So I kind of did a little bit of pre-mixing beforehand just because obviously I'm working with a limited space. So some of like the filtration stuff that needed to happen with the vitamin C and the cornstarch I went ahead and did beforehand just so that I could kind of one, save time, and two, not have to try and do a whole little mini circus going on here. So first things first, we have our iodine clock experiment. So essentially I'm going to take a mixture of solution A and a mixture of a solution B, and putting them together should theoretically take two initially clear solutions and have a color change reaction. So for solution A, right now empty container, solution A will be a mixture of vitamin C. So you can see I already pre-mixed my vitamin C into this container here, and I just got some regular vitamin C from the grocery store, and I triple checked that this did not have hopefully any other additives outside of vitamin C to impact the experiment. And then I couldn't find 5 or 2% iodine tincture, so here we have 10% iodine tincture that I got from pharmacy. And so I know in the instruction video beforehand it said either 25 milliliters of 5% or 60 milliliters of 2%. So hopefully my math is mathing. And so since I have 10% instead of 25 mils of iodine solution, I have 12 and a half mils of iodine solution in this cute little measuring cup here. And so first things first, our first reaction that we will kind of be going through is the mixing of iodine with vitamin C. And so what is going to happen is the vitamin C should convert iodine to iodide as long as there's enough vitamin C in here. And so it will basically neutralize. You can see kind of like the brownish color of the iodine right now should neutralize it back into a clear solution. So, and I have about 75 mils of mixed up vitamin C and distilled water in this container. So gonna mix it in, and you can see that the iodine is in fact turning clear. So we have a clear solution of iodine and vitamin C. So I'm going to put this in the container for solution A, and then I will fill this the rest of the way up to 500 milliliters. So I'll be adding about 425 mils or 412 mils of distilled water to this. And I have a little marker line just to let me know, as well as giving y'all a visual aid of where exactly 500 milliliters is. I also have a second line for whenever I mix the two solutions together so that I know where 250 mils is. So that is solution A, and I will put this off to the side since I don't need it for the moment. Alright, so now for solution B. So for solution B, I have some pre-mixed distilled water and cornstarch. So similar to with the vitamin C, where I didn't have to crush up the cornstarch, but you know, after crushing up the vitamin C and having to filter it through a coffee filter, I did a similar process with the cornstarch where I pre-mixed it in a separate container, filtered it through a coffee filter, or actually a couple of coffee filters, and made this solution that you see here. Cornstarch wasn't fancy, just something that I had in my kitchen. Then I pre-measured out 150 mils of hydrogen peroxide. So for anyone who's familiar with using hydrogen peroxide at home to treat wounds, it's just this generic brand hydrogen peroxide that, again, because I'm injury prone, I just happen to have it in my house. So I'm gonna mix the hydrogen peroxide with the cornstarch, and you're really not gonna see any type of reaction. I'm basically just mixing them together, and you can see how they just kind of coexist in the solution. So the second real reaction that you're gonna see is once I mix solution A and B together. So again, I'm just gonna add some regular old distilled water that I bought from the store until I get up to 500 mils of solution. And okay, so we're gonna pause for just a minute. I'm gonna go get some little stir sticks to kind of mix it up a little. It should be well mixed just from the act of pouring, but just to be extra sure. So 2 seconds. Okay, so I have 2 little wooden dowels here, so I'm just gonna stir each solution a little bit individually. Okay, so those are nice and mixed. I will set these off to the side. And so now I have my empty container of what will hold solutions A and B. So I will put my empty container here, and honestly it doesn't matter which order you start the solutions in. So I'm starting with A. I could also start with B if I wanted to for funsies, or if I wanted to be like real crazy, I could try pouring them in at the same time. Don't think that would work out well for me, but you know, just to emphasize the point of it doesn't really matter which order. So pour in about 250 mils of solution A. Okay, and then about 250 mils of solution B. And then hopefully soon, within like a minute or so, we should see a color change. So basically the second reaction that should be taking place is kind of what I was explaining to you before. So where in solution A, the vitamin C neutralized the iodine to iodide ions. When you put solution A in the mixture with the cornstarch and the hydrogen peroxide, so what the hydrogen peroxide is going to do is it is going to essentially kind of reverse the effect of the neutralization of the vitamin C on the iodine. And so with the hydrogen peroxide, the iodide ions that have been created in solution A should revert back to iodine items. And so those two reactions will be competing with each other. And then the third reaction is once the vitamin C runs out, you have the cornstarch as well. And so with your iodide ions and your iodine molecules, and then the cornstarch should combine to create a triiodide cornstarch, or blue triiodide cornstarch mixture. So we're just gonna give this a little stir and hopefully see the reaction go. Pause. Okay, and we're back. So because I really don't have the patience, I kind of walked away from this while I was waiting for the color change to happen, because I don't know if maybe I had too much vitamin C or maybe I didn't have enough cornstarch, but I honestly just didn't have the patience, but as you can see, we have a color changed solution. However, because I don't know how long it had been sitting there before the color changed, instead of being blue, it kind of looks more like the Coke color that they were talking about, where if you let the reaction proceed for an extended period of time, it starts to look more like Coke than it does the blue iodine mixture. But yeah, so color change solution. So again, what essentially should have happened is you have your solution A that is your iodine mixed with vitamin C. The vitamin C converts iodine to iodide, which is a negatively charged ion. And then your solution B with your hydrogen peroxide and your cornstarch, when you mix them both together, the hydrogen peroxide competes with the vitamin C to convert iodine or the iodide ion back into iodine. And so you get this mixture of back and forth iodide molecules with iodine molecules. And so then cornstarch comes in, and so the iodine and the negatively charged iodide molecules form to make triiodide, and then binds to cornstarch, making the blue triiodide cornstarch mixture. So what would have been blue if I had the patience to sit here and actually watch the color change happen, but it sat here for a little longer, so it went back to being more of the normal iodine color, which is the brown color. So that is our reaction. I hope that that helped, and I will see you next week. So just on an interesting little side note, so I was actually dumping this out, and as I was dumping out the mixture, I don't know if it was the agitation of the liquid or not, but as I was dumping it out, the liquid suddenly turned to blue. If it wasn't for the fact that I had actually looked down while I was pouring and the color changed, I would not have known. So yeah, here's our actual blue mixture that didn't happen earlier. So yeah, science is fun. Not sure about this one, but I hope y'all have a good day.